I think I speak for all Americans. We don't believe it's legal to use the American military against American citizens on American soil.
That was Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser with a powerful response, striking back after Donald Trump's disastrous press conference earlier this morning, where Donald Trump announced the federal government would be taking over the Metropolitan Police Department and also sending in the National Guard and potentially other military forces into Washington, D.C. so Donald Trump could feel like a dictator. Here, Muriel Bowser, the mayor of Washington, D.C., says, while this is unsettling and unprecedented, we believe that Donald Trump was going to take heinous actions regarding our city. Here, play this clip.
We know that access to our democracy is tenuous. That is why you have heard me and many Washingtonians before me advocate for full statehood for the District of Columbia. We are American citizens. Our families go to war. We pay taxes and we uphold the responsibilities of citizenship. And while this action today is unsettling and unprecedented, I can't say that given some of the rhetoric of the past, that we're totally surprised.
Now, Mayor Bowser also explains that she did believe that Trump would send in the National Guard based on what Trump's been doing across the country. But she said she never got any notice about the federal government taking over the Metropolitan Police Department, which will cause major disruption in Washington, D.C. Here, play this clip.
Mayor Bowser, can you talk a little bit about the communication that you did receive before this morning? Did you know what this announcement was going to be before today? And can you just talk about the communication writ large before today? And secondarily, what do you say to DC residents who wanted to hear more from you, specifically in the last 5 days, being forthright, speaking to press and media? Can you just talk?
DC residents know I'm forthright. That's not a question. DC residents know that. And in this press course, I speak to you all the time. So you should know that as well. And your question was, when I did not know that the request of MPD would be made, I believed that they would announce that they were going to call up the National Guard. I had one brief phone call related to the National Guard issue over the weekend.
And I think as we look at this press conference, it's also important to note that crime is significantly down in Washington, D.C. It really began under former President Biden, and we saw crime decreasing significantly. Also, it should be noted that even Donald Trump's former interim United States Attorney Ed Martin back in April or so said that Donald Trump was responsible for causing crime in D.C. to drop 25%. It's actually former President Biden's policies that I think started that, but it should be clear that even Trump's own person said crime was down 25%, which undercuts Donald Trump's pretextual reason for militarizing Washington, D.C. Mayor Bowser then talks about how, what was missing from Donald Trump's press conference, in addition to logic and common sense and the truth, is that the prosecutors and judges in Washington, D.C. are not local. They're appointed by the federal government anyway. Here, listen to what she says. Play this clip.
I think what was missing from the press conference a little bit earlier, however, is what people also don't know about the district. Our prosecutors are not local. Okay. They don't get elected by anybody here. They don't report to any of us. They are appointed by the president. We've also had a period of time where some of the very good police arrests that have been made were not prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's Office. So the prosecution is a federal element. Judges are appointed by the president of the United States as well. And so those are not local judges. They don't report to any of us. So that is a part of the federal system. So anytime we talk about crime in the district, it is part local and part federal that can make changes.
And here, Mayor Bowser says, I think I speak for all Americans right here when I say that the military of the United States should not be turned against American citizens on American soil. Let's play it.
And can I ask, the president threatened to use not just the National Guard, but the military, to bring the United States military, federal troops into the District of Columbia if needed. Can you respond to that threat? I mean, we're in uncharted waters already. A lot of people are seeing this as the first step in an assault on home rule, which the president has threatened. He's been making these threats since last year, and now he's carrying through with them. There's no reason to believe he won't go further. What do you say to the president about his threats to bring the military, not just the National Guard, but the military?
We don't, I think I speak for all Americans. We don't believe it's legal to use the American military against American citizens on American soil. I'm not a lawyer, but I think that's a fairly widely held fact. And so, but we've seen them move, I think, active military into California. So it's a question. We've seen active military on the borders of DC some years ago. And we don't believe that our military should be used against American citizens. Yes.
And then Mayor Bowser was also, she also says it was a little bit curious that Donald Trump was talking about no cash bail as a situation. She goes, I've never really even heard someone bring this up because we've had that since the mid 1990s. So not really sure where Trump's been all those years, but no cash bail has been something in DC since the 90s. By the way, Donald Trump got off on no cash bail on multiple occasions based on the crimes Trump committed. Here, play this clip.
Okay, I'll take a few more. Yep.
Along with those laws that Sam was just talking about earlier today, we also going to focus on DC's bail system, being a cashless bail system. Was that part of your discussion?
That's the first time I ever heard that come up in a situation with DC. DC has had a no cash, whatever you call it, cashless bail, I think since the mid 90s. So that's not anything new to our system. We do, and that I was very, very focused in the last 2 years on having the council pass laws that would allow judges to hold violent offenders, those accused of a violent offense, pretrial. And I believe that provision has led to our very substantial decrease in shootings and homicides. Yeah.
Then Mayor Bowser says, look, but here's what I'm going to have to do right now because Trump is making a mess of everything. She goes, I'm going to now have to work every day to make sure this isn't a complete disaster because he's taking over the local police department here in Washington, D.C. for his dictator fantasies while we're actually doing a good job reducing crime in D.C. Here, play this clip.
Can you reflect on this moment today? Do you feel that you're at risk of losing control of the city? Are you worried this is going to be a complete disaster?
I'm going to work every day to make sure it's not a complete disaster. Let me put it that way. And I think that with Chief Smith's leadership and her expertise in both the federal space and the local space, we are going to do our level best to maintain, as the chief talked about, to maintain the trust that DC residents have in us. What could be a disaster is if we lose communities who won't call the police. That could be a disaster. What would be a disaster if communities won't talk to the police, if a crime has been committed and could help solve that crime. That could be a disaster. It would be a disaster if people who aren't committing crimes are antagonized into committing crimes. That would be a disaster. So we are going to work every day to get this emergency put to an end, I'll call it the so-called emergency, and continue to do our work. And at the same time, make sure that if these are like the law enforcement officers who are called, they're leaving their homes, their towns, maybe doing double shifts. If our National Guard are deployed, they're leaving their primary mission to come. We don't want their time to be wasted. We want to be strategic and work with them.
She says, Mayor Bowser says, we haven't really gotten any more plans than what you just heard at the press conference, which was a lot of ranting and raving and rambling. Donald Trump saying that he was going to meet Putin in Russia. Trump saying that Alaska is Russia all of the time. Here, play this clip.
Numerous bits about removing homeless encampments and dealing with people in the district who are experiencing homelessness. Can you talk about what preparations that you're making, your administration is making to facilitate this and put this? Have you had any of those conversations with the White House? What that's going to look like and where these people would go if they would be FD12?
We really haven't gotten any more detail about the plans, about the words that he said. It wasn't referenced in the executive order that came down. So we're going to work. And I believe he had a previous executive order that also identified Attorney General Bondi as a point of contact as it relates to homelessness and such. So we'll follow up with her. Okay. Last two questions.
And here Mayor Bowser says, look, we're going to be very, very clear to the city as well that we're not going to be okay with people going around in masks here in Washington, D.C., disappearing people from the streets. Here, play this clip.
Then we have MPD, the National Guard, possible other law enforcement agencies on the ground. There will be confusion about who's in charge, who these officers answer to, and how people should respond if approached by any of those.
Well, we should note, and we have been advised, and we will continue to make this clear that this is needed in our city, that all law enforcement be identifiable by a uniform, a badge, a jacket, so that people know that they are law enforcement. And the chief, in her coordination with the kind of the command on the federal side, will make clear kind of how the protocols for response. And if there's any additional information we need to get out to the public, we will.
Now, earlier when Donald Trump held that disastrous press conference, even Kash Patel, Trump's FBI director, was saying that murder rates and crime is down. Did you not get the talking points today, Kash Patel? Did you not get the dictator talking points? Here, play this clip.
Our children, and the murder rates are plummeting. We are now able to report that the murder rate is on track to be the lowest in U.S. history, in modern recorded U.S. history, thanks to this team behind me and President Trump's priorities.
Then lots of rambling by Donald Trump saying that if you're competent, it's easy. If you're incompetent, it's impossible. I'm very confident. I'm a very competent person. Competent people don't go around saying they're competent people. Here, play this clip.
And that we will deliver like nobody's ever delivered before. I actually think it's easy. If you're competent, it's easy. If you're incompetent, it's impossible. But I'm very competent.
And then Donald Trump's, view of what the National Guard and Metropolitan Police Department are going to do. I don't know, something to do with him building a 90,000 square foot golden ballroom. That's what he wanted to brag about. Play this clip.
Some of the buildings, we're going to add to it. You see what we've done at the White House. White House is a whole different building. I do that in my part-time because it's a natural instinct as a real estate person. I was very good at that, and I was very good at fixing things up. I like fixing things up. You see what's happening. The marble floors are being reinstalled, renovated, fixed. The whole place is becoming very beautiful. We're going to be adding a magnificent ballroom, most beautiful ballroom, I think, anywhere. We need it. I would have certainly loved to have had it today. I think we would have filled it up. A lot of you are standing outside, can't get in this room. I've never seen the room like this.
Oh, and then, of course, Donald Trump was saying that he was seeing Putin in Russia and was referring to Alaska as Russia. Play this clip.
See, this is a tragic emergency. And it's embarrassing for me to be up here. I'm going to see Putin. I'm going to Russia on Friday. I don't like being up here talking about how unsafe and how dirty and disgusting this once beautiful capital was, with graffiti all over the walls. It's another part of it. But
then Donald Trump was attacking the idea of low-income housing. Let's play this clip.
And now they're talking about this is among the most beautiful areas was in the country. Now they're talking about putting low-income housing there. Can you believe this? I love low-income housing. I made money with low-income housing. I built low-income housing. I know more about low-income housing and luxury housing. I know about everything real estate. They want to replace some of those homes with low-income housing. They haven't gotten their permits yet.
And then Donald Trump attacking Ukrainian President Zelensky. Let's play it.
And I get along with Zelensky, but, I disagree with what he's done. Very, very severely disagree. This is a war that should have never happened. Wouldn't have happened.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers, and thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Midas? Check out the Midas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MidasPlus.com.